Cool. Good morning. Hello. Good whatever time it is, whenever you're watching. It's morning for me right now. Day 3 of streams. These aren't going to be every single day, but I'm going to do them for as many days as I can. Let me make sure I have chat open. Alright. So, we're working on a Zelda 1 remake. What we got done yesterday is can walk in here, can talk to this guy, dialogue box appears, animates, disappears, you get the sword, can walk around and swing it, and the old man's still gone. Couple things here are currently hard-coded, so I don't have an inventory system yet. I just have a check to see if you had picked up the sword, and if so, you can now swing the sword. It then appears up here, and the old man doesn't appear when you re-enter. A lot of that will be fixed, or implemented in general, I guess, when we do the inventory, which will be after one more thing I want to do for my first milestone. The first milestone being, what features do I need to implement to make a short recording of walking into the cave, receiving the sword, and walking out and using it. Okay? Technically, we're there, but I did want to add the spin attack just to show that this isn't your typical Zelda 1. This is your typical Game Boy Zelda instead. So we gotta do some new player states. We need a state for him to be able to hold the sword out and walk around. We need the sword to have another state where it flashes. Probably won't do the flashing in this stream. That'll be polished for the next stream, depending on how much time I have today. It's gonna be like 90 minutes. Oh, I gotta post that I'm streaming in the Discord. All right. So yeah, plan for today. We gotta hold out the sword when the button is held. We need a spin attack on release. This is gonna be annoying. It's gonna be 4 animations on the player. Flashing, we'll try to do, and then you could see all of these are part of my first cave milestone. After that, we'll start the inventory. I think inventory is kind of a big enough thing to that'll be 1 or 2 streams. So, yeah. Allow holding out sword when button is held. Pretty sure I did this in my old Zelda videos. At the very least, I've definitely done spin attacks and touch of force and stuff like that. I just don't want to open up a different version of Godot to handpick code that may or may not have changed, so we're going to do it from scratch. I did, like 10 minutes ago, take a little recording of the spin attack so I could do frame by frame. So it probably we'll look at it frame by frame. I just need it for the directions right now. Like, as for like moving the player forward and back, I suppose we'll do that. I got to do that for the regular sword swing too. So yeah, the animations are not identical, or are not 1-to-1 with the source material. They will be, but probably not today. So let's get started. So I'm using Ooh. I'm using animated sprites for the player. That's probably not gonna work here. Probably would want to switch this to animation players sooner than later. I wanted to see if I can make use of animated sprite for as much as possible, but when it comes to like positioning the player, I think it's gonna be annoying. So this is gonna be a bit of trial and error. Let's see what I have for the sword. See, I used the animation player here. I suppose. Okay, how am I? User state swing. State swing simply plays animation. I guess as long as it does line up. I wonder what it would look like if the sword only used diagonal frames. What do you mean? Like without pointing outward, just like the straight diamond going around or something? I think we need the middle frames. Oh, and do I want these to be linear or continuous, I guess? Okay, if I set everything to discrete before and then set that to continuous, then I must have done it on purpose. Okay. Gotta decide. Do I want this to be an animation player? I think so. Okay. Well, I guess that's what we're doing instead today. We are replacing our animated sprite with an animation player and a regular sprite. Shouldn't take too long. Let's set this to grid. Benefit of that change. So animated sprites work great if you have just changes of frame, like just changes of the image itself with like discrete steps of or a discrete amount of frames for each thing. So if you're just doing simple like if you don't need the sprites to physically move within the animation, animated sprites have you covered. In the case of the sword, you could see in the animation itself, let me find a good frame. He'll step forward at different points of the spin attack. See? Wait. Steps forward, steps back. I will have to, good morning. I will have to do a lot of frame and timer shenanigans in code in order to get those step forward, step backs. And that'll be really annoying. Whereas in an animation player, I could use a timeline like in this video editor here. Also, the timeline will help because I have to run the animation separately on the sword. So the sword will be playing swing left animations and the player will be playing the swing left, right, up, down animations. And they got to be synchronized, so I got to make sure they're the same speeds. Right now, I just have the sword running an animation here, and then the player running a separate animation here. I thought that would be enough, and then I realized the first second that I get to a semi complex animation, just slightly more than no complexity at all, it falls apart. So I tried. I usually use animation players as much as possible because they're more flexible. Just wanted to try something else. So I just got a remake. Walk up, walk down, walk left, right. We'll start with just the walking. Steam has the benefit of sword upgrades where you would need to change the item sprite as well. Yeah, that's... I think technically I could build the sword straight into the player and have all the animations in here, and then I would just swap out the sword sprite itself. So that would still let me still let me swap items out. I don't know if what I'm doing is more or less complicated. I like just spawning in the sword as needed, but the sword can probably stay on the player all the time. But I won't change it to that yet. Right now, I will do 2 sets of animations. We'll try it all out. So we are going to be animating the region. I don't know if region or H frames, V frames is better, but I do know the sprite sheet is massive, so I don't want to count the H and V frames. Set the snap to... Am I doing speed ups for this? Yeah, I'm doing speed scale for 1 second animations. We'll stick to that. We are being productive. Welcome, Herrick. All right, so now I just gotta go and click through a lot. Okay, maybe I can use the animated sprite with the animation player instead of doing this as a sprite 2D. Does anybody do that? Maybe that's a move. Oh, it's gotta be discrete, and you gotta hide. Loop. Okay, so we just gotta do that a bunch. Walk up. Okay, oh my gosh. All the controls change when you go into different set of the editor. All right, and then I should just be able to. There's gotta be a quicker way of doing this, right? No. Okay, no, I gotta go in each one. Oh man, I don't like using the grid editor or this region editor. I mean, because it keeps resetting my position and my middle mouse button is bad. Oh, and I keep forgetting to hit the key button. All right, small learning curve. Key. Okay, just 2 more times. Duplicate. Walk. Left. Edit region. Pick the one where he's walking left. Oh, I can use space to drag. Okay. Starting with this frame. Key it. Go here. The sprite sheet is too large. Key it. Bing, 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 bing. What is happening? My snapping not snapping here. Apply to timeline cursor. Is this correct? Is this correct? Okay. Duplicate again. Walk. Right. Jupiter Sky, welcome. Good to see you again. Yeah. I'm not doing anything new now. I'm actually just trying to fix something that I wanted to do differently and decided the old way is the best way. And that is use animation players instead of animated sprites, even if they're simple animations. Okay, walk right. Step. Key. And stand. Key. Bing, 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 bing. Cool. All right. Now, let's update our player script to use a sprite instead of animation. So yeah, this should be fine. Replace with, all right, where are we at? Replace, replace, replace. That doesn't exist yet. So we'll have to test swinging and receiving the sword. All right. Invalid access to sprite. Actor sprite stop. See, I went into this thinking it was all going to be animated sprites and not animation players. This is with other stuff. So that over there should be a signal anyway. Now, where do I tell it to play the animation? If velocity, play animation walk. So oh, that's all the anime is, right? My bad. I see. Okay. So we fixed walking. Now, walking in here, I think this is gonna crash. Okay, no, but it is gonna throw a ton of errors because animation not found, item get. So let's add that one in next. Okay. Now swinging the sword should throw errors. Also, I put those frames in the wrong order. I thought they needed to be reverse. They needed to be not reverse. So swap those around. You go there. You go there. That's better. I don't like that little... Okay, I need... Okay, no, I want them to be... I do want it how I had it, but I need to step half a second when you press the key. Or stop. And or that's not how you do it. You do seek. No, that's not what I needed. Okay. One more time. Swap these around. It's not doing what I wanted to do. Might actually help just in this case to make another set of animations for idle so I'm not just reusing walk for both. It's okay to have a ton of animations, and it's maybe even better. Yeah, while we're here, let's do this too. I don't know which frame I want though for each one. How does it look in Zelda? Your function, you have to force it to the next frame. Yeah, but I have it as a state machine. Like, I think I did seek it to half a second in different versions. You know what? What did I do? If I did this in my most recent project before this one, I'll copy what I did there. But I think I'm just gonna add more animations. No, I didn't even implement that there. So I don't want to dig any deeper than that. We're just gonna make new animations. But yeah. For anyone who doesn't see what I'm doing, I need it so when I tap, he taps his foot forward and then it goes back. Easy and clean, bet. That's what we're going for. Oh, but I didn't look at what I actually wanted, which is what direction does he face? His arm is to the right. So I need this to be the idle. So yeah. Delete. Left. I can't type. Up. Up, it's the other way. I'll swap these. Oops. Yeah. Wait, I'm doing this wrong. I don't need you. I did need you. Okay. And then I also want to switch walk up. Actually, no, that's good. Okay. That lets me remove those. Okay, hopefully that just works. No. Well, it works for there. I just need to switch my things around. One more time for all of these. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna... Okay. Let's not make any commits until we get swinging working again. And then we could start what I intended to do this stream. Yeah, that feels a lot better. Walking, idling, item get, we gotta do swinging. So I'm gonna instance the sword into the player for now. We're gonna get rid of this animated sprites. Done with you. Let's do editable children. All right, swing down. So we're using 1 second animations split into 3s. And with a speed scale of 4 for everything. All right, this is gonna be annoying too, because we got to go back into that region editor. So let's see if we're getting any faster at this. See, sometimes, so I'm holding space to drag and it's working. I feel like sometimes it'll just randomly do the box instead. there a hotkey for keying the last? No, there wouldn't be. Edit region. See, the first... Okay. Let's try something. Oops. Not that. It's the first drag. Always does the box. So, if I open it, click, and then drag, that's the move. All right, we're learning. We're learning. It's still janky though. It's still pushing me everywhere. All right. Yeah, I'll check if there's a issue already after the stream. There's no way to... Is there any way to synchronize these animation players in the editor without tool scripts? I suppose, yeah, there is. Now, is there a way to animate an animation player with another animation player? Maybe there's, maybe not. Animation, add track. Animation playback track. What is this? Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Beautiful. Okay, so there's that. I mean, we're removing this animation player afterwards anyway. I just need this for visuals. What's the sprite sheet box collector thing? The region editor. I guess my issue with it is holding space and clicking to drag seems to... Okay, dragging to select sprites in the region editor is overwriting my input to space click to drag. Something like that. I don't know how I would word it. All right, swing. Up, we'll do next. So we switch this animation to swing up. And then we find the regions here. Oops. Animation tree. I feel like animation trees are too complex for this. Yeah, I haven't looked into it in 2D. I've only ever used tree players back when... Were they tree players before? Maybe I'll look into that later. Not on stream though. But last time I looked into it, I was like, no, it's too complex. But at the same time, I thought the same about animation players and use animated sprites. So it'll escalate well. Okay. Okay. I won't do this right now, but I'll look. I'm okay with scrapping progress that I just did for something better the next day, if it really is that much better. And I believe you. All right, this one. Does anyone have any opinion on whether it's better to be using region rectangles rather than H-frames, V-frames? Because I used to always use H-frames, V-frames and kept everything the same sprite. I'm only using region rectangles because I'm using a single sprite sheet for all my entities. Always use frames? Okay. Never used regions. Don't know which is more performant. Yeah, I'm very curious about that. Because I think I read that regions are the same amount of performance because they all use the same atlas anyway. But I could definitely be misremembering. Like, I think I decided it's okay to use because it's not less performant. It's just whatever suits the workflow better. Okay. Yeah, definitely does not matter for this. All right, so I don't want to delete the sword entirely yet, just in case I still want to use this. So I'll make this local. I'll get rid of the collision shape. And we'll do this. Oh, no, it freaked out when I did that. So we'll put it back. But you can be just in Node 2D. Okay, y'all still work? Yeah. Okay, it's freaking out. It's freaking out because I changed all that stuff. It's these, okay. I thought it would automatically remove the tracks. Well, we are now in animation player mode. So see how this works. All right. That was a 40-minute detour, but we did it. Let's let's commit this right away. Yeah. Okay. Now we can do the hold logic. I suppose we didn't actually need to change it yet for holding the sword out, but I think it's good that we did. So this logic, I have the sword item itself changes the player state. So I think eventually I would like this all of the sword logic to be combined in the player logic, because if you think about it, that's the only item that changes the player's state. So I think the item itself should just be a part of the player, and all the state logic and animations, like the state logic would be synced up in one script, the animations would be synced up in one script. It makes it less reusable if I wanted an enemy to have the same sword logic, but I'm okay with enemies having slightly different sword logic. It's not going to be the same when you're not dealing with inputs. So yeah, we would be able to have the same animation player. It might make sense to do this right now. So instead of spawning the sword, we'll... Oh, that crashed. Huh. Okay, I poked the beast somehow with all those animation edits. That's where it started bugging out. We're fine. We're fine. That won't happen again, guys. Oops. That wasn't it happening again. I clicked something. Yeah, I have a bad habit of writing overly generalized systems, but I'm like, no, I'm just trying to recreate an NES game. It can't be that hard. A game like this, it's hard to come up with. It's hard to program on ancient hardware, but there's nothing I'm doing here that should be that complicated code-wise. Yeah. You spend all your time doing that, then actually make games. That's the curse. We're engine developers. We're not game developers. Thought the same when trying to recreate Dragon Quest 1. I think RPGs might just be hard in general, though. I think. I tried to do turn-based stuff, and I quit at like actual stats and like who should attack first? What status effects have precedent over others? Use Bevy and Rust, nice. I want to try Bevy. You're making a turn-based game, yeah. How is it for you? Oh, just the overworld part with player interactions. Gotcha. Yeah, a lot of moving parts. So we no longer want to instantiate. We no longer want to do add sibling. The sword will just always exist in the player. We still need the sprite, the collision shape. Yeah, we still need the sprite and the collision shape, but we won't need the animation player. I hope there's a way where I could copy these from one animation player to another. So let's see. All right. I just changed you to sword reference, but I got to change you back. So we're going to delete you. We're not going to delete related animation tracks. We're going to move the sword into here, make it local. Okay. Couldn't resolve track. That's okay. We're going to go back in here, fix these. Oh, you can't, can you? Can you change the path of a track? Maybe not. That's okay, because we don't need these tracks anymore. We got to rebuild all of them into the player animator anyway. All right. So if I run this, got a disembodied sword next to me. We need to get all of these into this other animation player. Can I combine animation players in any way? Interesting. Never seen animation libraries before. You in here? Oh. Wait, that's nuts. Okay, I'm just testing this. Just checking her out. I've never seen this before. Let's see if it does what I think it does. And then not valid. Save them to separate file first. What can I like drag her in here? Can I save this as a library? Okay, so these are all part of a global library. Oh, I could also copy and paste animations. Hold on, can I do that? I'd rather do that. I didn't know animations were resources. Did I know that? I don't remember them being in the inspector like this. That's nice. So I should be able to copy swing down, go to this animation player, manage animations, and paste. Oh. Yes. Can I just copy the keys straight in? Hold on. Like if I go here, can I copy these, go to this animation player, go to swing down? No. All right, not so fast then. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. But I can load all of these as duplicates. Why does that duplicate? Okay, here's another possible issue. If I go into this animation player and do swing left, and I open it in the inspector, copy it, and paste it in this way, it gives you parentheses. Whereas if I load an animation with the same name, no parentheses. It doesn't matter, but it's something. All right. So I just want to load these all up. Oops. And copy and paste some things. So go here, copy, go here. You can't paste. Can I combine animations? Paste keys? Output. Not all make animation keys were compatible with their target tracks. Can I copy tracks? Does anyone see a copy tracks button? Or, oh, copy tracks. Oh, yes. All of them. Give me. Go here and paste tracks. Beautiful. Okay. But, no, not beautiful. This is a different sprite 2D. No. I need to change it to the sword sprite and not the player sprite. I don't know how to edit what track I'm doing. Not quite sure if you can. Like, can I move, like, position between tracks? No, it's stuck to that track. Yeah, it's confused because I loaded an animation for a sprite that I also have here. I get why it would be confused, but don't. Just guess what I'm trying to do. The sprite 2D track is the one that I really want. It's like, yeah, I can go and just remake these animations right now. I think it's a better learning experience if I fiddle around with this for another half hour first. And then just remake the animations at the end of the day anyway. But I gotta try. Like, how do I edit key paths? That's something I just ran into twice. I don't know. How do I copy these into somewhere else without okay, if I renamed this to sword sprite, okay, it's freaking out. It's totally freaking out. Because I need this sprite. I can move the sword sprite outside of the sword, but that's annoying. You know? How do I change the path? Okay, if I open this, I don't want to do it like this, but if I open up yeah, let's see. What is Kate's? No. They're not text resource files, they're resource files. Okay, I don't want you guys anymore. Don't want any of these. Open, manage animations, okay. My guy is sideways now. Can you just have the two libraries and then swap them out with a script? The problem is the library itself, like, or not even the library itself, the animations themselves are pointing to the wrong nodes in the scene tree. So I really would like to be able to copy all the data, and if absolutely necessary, just open it up in a text file and then fix the paths. I would really like to do all this from UI, but it might not work like that. Copy tracks. All of them. Copy. Go to player. Animation player. Paste tracks. Oh, I did it. I did it. Don't worry, guys. I did it. We got it. I think I just needed to rename the sword sprite to something else first. I think that was literally it. I think it was just the fact that I had two sprite 2Ds. They were overlapping. All right. Problem solved. So now we go. All right. Well, you know what? We learned about this whole menu here. We learned about libraries, animation libraries. And most importantly, we learned that we can just directly copy tracks. So that was your tutorial for the day. Oops. Big learn. Swing up. Copy tracks. Take them all. Go back. Swing up. Paste tracks. We're good. Now we need the sword to do something else here. We're removing this animation player entirely. So you're not gonna change the user state. Okay? You're not doing that anymore. You don't need to set the position because you are the user position. This is good. You don't need to do this anymore because the user will do all that. All right. Yeah, just delete. We got it all in the get history. Couldn't resolve track. Sword swing up, couldn't resolve. Oh. I need to, okay, we're deleting the sword scene now too. Delete. I saved it again. Delete. Okay. Sword scene should not exist anymore. Get rid of all that garbage. Log outputs. What happens if we run the game? Okay. Sword does not exist. Just delete these. Swoosh. That's my sword sound effects when we're swinging our imaginary sword. So I'm pressing the sword button. There's no output. I'm just testing. Oh. Whoa. Oh, oh no. These are all the wrong path too. Let's try something. Projects. Let's go to our player scene. Let's open you up with, sure, Zed. Okay. Sword. Wait, why? No, we're good. It's all using the same thing. I think, did we just set it wrong in here? Yeah, this just didn't get reset. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Show this, fix this. That's all wrong. Oops. Is it good practice for the user to do the actions? I would assume having a function like you did is the better practice. I'm not really a game developer. So, yeah, I had it previously so that the sword is split. Generally speaking, if the player is doing something, it should happen in the player script rather than the player spawning an object, which then changes the player in some way. Like, that's too many intermoving parts. Also, hi, Leland. Thanks for checking out the stream. But in this case, like, sure, other entities in the world might be able to use a sword, but there's going to be a lot of player-specific code that no other enemies are going to use. So I'm okay with putting all of the sword controlling logic into the player and just having something that's functionally the same but a different script for everything else. Hope I answered that correctly. All right, my collision is fixed now. And we're swooshing in that output log. Sweet. So now we need the animation. So I guess generally speaking, we'll just have the sword hidden. Oh, thanks. Appreciate you coming by. We need to show. Okay, I'm gonna enable and disable the collision shape in the animations, I think. Or should I just have the collision shapes disabled be equal to the sword's visibility and do that in code? And then only show the sword. Nah, let's put in the animations. Animations are powerful. So swing down at the start of each of these animations. We shall set the sword visibility. We'll set the sprite visibility. We'll use the same track. This doesn't matter. This is what I want to do. Swing left, visible, swing right, visible, swing up, visible. At the end of the animation, we'll do the opposite. Not visible. Not visible. Not visible. Not visible. Cool. All right. Yeah, I suppose streaming mid-morning on a Friday, people are gonna be at work. I'm just trying to stream. I gotta get off around 11, maybe a little earlier, and I work at 1. Yesterday I did a stream after work, but then I work in the morning earlier tomorrow. So I'm trying to figure out a comfortable streaming schedule, trying to see when people are actually here to watch too. I assume nights are going to be better, but I know I have people in Europe watching as well. So I'm going to stream a variety of times. I'm going to try to do a variety of times throughout the week, but the same times each week, or like always stream at this time Fridays, you know. Where am I currently working? I work at a coffee shop. I don't want to dox myself, so I won't say exactly where, but message me on Instagram. I'll send it to you. You should visit. I'm working at a coffee shop, and then eventually I would like to do YouTube again. Like, I'm full-time there. What I would like to do is stream a lot and get my time there down to 4 days a week, 3 days a week. Like, I'm comfortable with my bills and rent and all that stuff right now with the coffee shop job. It's just not what I want to be doing for the next 5 years. Keeping the mess caffeinated, yeah. See, I mean, I got a Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee with me right now, but I can't do any of this stuff without caffeine, so I got myself a job at a coffee shop so I can get that stuff for free. That's a huge amount of money off of my um expenses just because I get to go there and work on my stuff in my off time. All right. So yeah, we have it hidden. Let's do this. Okay, it's gonna get pretty annoying having to walk in here and get the sword every time, so I'll just remove that check. Okay, puts us in a state swing, but we're locked there, and it didn't actually show the sword spray. Oh, it's because I'm hiding the whole thing. Sword sprite should be hidden by default. What's going on here? Jeez. Okay. Da-na-na-na. Okay, so it's working. I just don't have a way to leave the swing state. Let's make sure none of these animations loop. Okay, they don't. So, if not anim is playing, state equals, change state default. Let's see if this works. It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Da-na-na-na. You got the sword. Still freezing me. And what is this? Okay. Just get rid of that. We don't do anything with the user. Yeah, the sword doesn't even need a script right now. We're removing the sword script entirely. And we'll remake that when it's time. We just need animations. We don't even need the sword script until we have enemies, I'm pretty sure. Or bushes to cut or whatever we want to add there first. So the animation is playing. That's not how I want to do it, huh? I need how did I do it for the dialogue? How do I check it's over? I thought I use is playing. Yeah, I use if not anim is playing. Proceed. Swing down, swing left. These are all not looping. Where am I telling the player to run that animation? Okay, I doubt this will fix it right away, but what if I just switch these? Without caffeine can't work. ADHD is me and my brain is too loud without it. Exactly. Being pumped up on coffee is just my default state. Oh, that worked. Okay, I just needed to change the location. They're not, it's not hiding the sword though. Do I need to put you slightly back or make this animation slightly longer? Like, will this make swing left work? Is it because it's on the last bit of the frame? No, it's not that. Okay, something else is making the sword visible. Turning me into a unicorn. So, fix that time. We want... Okay. Where else are we touching visibility? Reset, visible. None of these other things should have anything related to the sword. Alright, we'll just, Strange. Why are you still visible? All right, let's make a new. Judosi, welcome back. This is the wrong animation, but it's okay because it's playing correctly. Swing down, I copied the wrong thing, and I already deleted the animation player. Oh no. That's okay. I will do it manually. No, I don't want to do it manually. I want to, walk there. No one got that on their website. No phone number. Let me check my trash for that swing down animation I just deleted. Boom. Got these right here. I'll take the proper one, put it into my directory here, swing down, get out of here. Animation, manage, load, swing down, go here. So these are wrong. These are wrong, and they're messing up my player again. Because I saved them wrong earlier. Yep, right back to it. Good morning. Welcome back. God, I wish there was a way to just change the path. All right, I'm going to do some surgery real quick. We're going to open this up. We're going to edit the player scene. Gonna find swing down. So this is the good one. We're gonna remove. No, this I'm not doing it like this. I'm not doing it like this. I'll just show you how they're actually set up. So let's delete this animation. Let's fix our player. So not looking so good there. Fix our this. It's got a diamond collision shape. Okay, I suppose, or we could do a different kind of surgery actually. Let me try one more thing. If I perform the surgery before the transplant, could not open because they're not text file, or they're not resource files. Can I save you as a text file? I can. Okay. So now it is plain text. Yes. Now, if I change the node path so that this is sword sword sprite. Oops. 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 I can't type. Just type it in. Here, copy and paste it like a regular person. Oh my gosh. I'm jumping between Vim and not Vim, and copy and pasting is working differently, so I'm just not gonna copy and paste. Okay, hopefully this works. I drop this in, swing down 2, sword sprite, collision shape, is this correct? Yes. Yes. Yes, sword / collision shape. So then I can copy tracks, select all, go into swing down, and hopefully just overwrite them. No, it added them on, so we'll now we'll do it. Fixed, easy, no problem. I do gotta show and hide this bitty bad boy though. All right. Now we can walk in there and we should be able to swing the sword in 4 directions. So, been 76 minutes. I am on my last 20 or so minutes that I could stream for today. I don't think we've actually accomplished anything visual, but we did refactor, or we did change our animated sprite into an animation player and remove a whole scene and a whole script and transplanted it into the player. We learned a lot about animations. Average day, yeah. I try to save the flashy stuff for streams and do things like this when I'm just on my laptop. 30 hours of work, not a single word to tell. Exactly. I've got the comment log. So I think I should... There should be another comment right here. Good. As long as it's still content. Oh, I have to delete you. Test it one more time before I push anything. Da-na-na-na. Yes. Sweet. Yeah, okay. We condensed everything into the player. I believe that is better. Believe in my heart of hearts. And if we ever do need to separate it back out, I know how to copy the tracks this time. Wish you could stream coding more by my work, and I have a feeling I shouldn't stream business logic. Fair enough. Could always stream a hobby project. I can't stream myself making lattes. All right, let's push this. So we got removed 3 files. That's huge. Tons of edits to the player scene. Cool. And slight edits to the player script. Sounds good. Move, sword, logic, and animations into player. Boom. 2 things that were not on the agenda today. No, I'll watch a 18-hour stream of an AI model getting trained. Do programming stuff. So that's pushed. So what would it really take for me to do the holding animations? Basically, we just need okay. Let me think. So previously, I would have the hold stuff in a separate animation player for the sword, and I would sync up the holding animations with just the straight up walking animations. All I'm trying to do is, by hold, I mean, I need to make it so, am I still in fast forward? No. I need to make it so you can, hold the sword and still walk around. So I used to have just an animation where the sword is slightly tucked into the player, and then after a second it'll start an additional animation player for flashing. So I think I had a lot of concurrent animations going on at once. I suppose now I don't want to make like a duplicate of the player walk animation with it held out. I just want to use the same player walk animation still. So, but once we're at the end of the swing animation, like once it gets back there, the sword position doesn't have to move anymore. So I should still be able to do it the way that I've done it before. Probably. Let's just start hecking around. Sword state is gonna, or hold state is gonna be pretty much the same as the walking and idling states. It's gonna look like state defaults. Still need the input direction, we still need the velocity, still need to move and slide. We don't need to update the sprite direction anymore, so I can't just copy state default in. And we don't want to do this item logic anymore. So can I put most of these into a function? Like, let's say, let's do, oops. So most of this stuff will be applicable to multiple states, including input direction, velocity, and moving and sliding. So we'll put that in move logic. Do I need delta? Does delta get used here at all? Seems not. So state default will involve move logic. It'll just also let you change your direction. No, I don't need that at all. So move logic and updating state direction. We also need that. Which I think I'll just copy in. So basically, if at the end of the state swing, the animation is no longer playing, we'll check if the input is still being held. We'll change the state to state hold. Otherwise, we'll do this. So let me give the player the sword. UI. I don't know what state I'm in right now. Oh, because I did just pressed again. Hold on. Right? Is that what I did? Yes. So if it's held, we are now in the hold state. So we can moonwalk. We're locked here, but that's the idea. So if I do this, still in the hold state. We just can't get out of it. Now, if welcome back. Okay. Swing. Okay, didn't work there. If oh, not. We can hold. We can go back. We can hold. We can go back. Alright, so it's working in 4 directions, but the sword is hidden. I don't like that I'm hiding it in code anymore, so we're gonna, or hiding it in the animation. Going back on that. Going to our swing animations, and we're removing the sprite visible track. Take care of that in the player script. So now it's not getting hidden anywhere, but it's intended. Hide the sword by default. And state swing, sword show. Hide it here. Yeah. Right? Yeah. Obviously, positioning's off. That's just going to be a game of me going into the video I took, going frame by frame, and like I do know this is a spin attack. Let's see. God, I'm holding the sword for too long. Hurry up. I want to see him swing the sword. Please stop walking around. I gotta add markers to this video. How am I holding the sword and changing directions just by sliding against things? I was forcing that to happen, but I didn't know how. So yeah, I have to edit the animation so that Link kind of jerks forward to meet the sword where it is, and then the sword comes back with Link. Also flashes and disappears for way more frames than I realized. Okay. I'm not doing that today though. I'm considering considering this success. Yeah, all right. So, to recap, we changed our animation play, or we changed our animated sprite into an animation player, and we moved the sword logic and animations into the player instead of having a separate script and sprite, or a script and scene for the sword. And we also added the sword hold state just now. Is that one of my issues? Allow holding out sword when button is held. Okay. So I got to close one issue today. And that's okay. Can't do everything at once. Next stream, we get to do the spin attack. I'll move this to the bottom. Or I suppose it should be at the top. I'll do that when I feel like it. Every step is another step closer. Right, one issue at a time. So yeah, still gotta do the spin attack and the sword flash, and then I'm gonna consider my first milestone complete with that. Now, immediately after the first milestone, I'm gonna have to start a hard feature, which is gonna be the inventory. One of which is just gonna be the inventory backend. So instead of, right now I have the player just checks if this variable is true in order to see if we have the sword. Instead, I need to have a new global singleton somewhere that will keep track of what items the player has. And that's just going to be an array in the back end. So the old man won't spawn anymore if it finds the sword in that array. The player won't be able to use a sword unless it's present. And then once we have all that in the back end, we got to do the actual inventory UI, which won't be that hard. Let's just take a peek of what it looks like in an older project. This is what I'll be oh, that's loud. Just mute my whole computer. So, oh, let me get the sword first so I can demonstrate. Yeah. Gotta add this. Should be fun. That will get rid of a significant amount of the to-do comments in my code, is having this. So yeah, that'll be the next major thing after finishing the sword. Yeah. That's all I've got for today. I have to get ready for my real job. Someday this will be a real job too. Yeah, it'll just be an array. It won't be anything more complicated than that. It won't even be it just needs to be an array. It doesn't have to be separated into columns or rows either. Like, there's just going to be 20 items, and they'll go from, or 16 items, and they'll go from left to right here, and some of them will be blank. So it might, if I have a sword here and bombs here and nothing in between, my array will just be sword, nothing, bombs, you know? It'll be easy. It'll be easy. Let me look at the code real quick. Inventory. Is this complicated at all? Okay, I guess the complicated thing here is I'm hard drawing the inventory. I don't know why I wanted to do that instead of just using Godot's nodes. So we'll see if I still do it that way. I don't know. I also just loved set gets when I was making this project. Yeah, we're gonna. Well, I'll take a look at that before I jump in. All right, I gotta go. So, thank you all for watching. I probably will not be streaming tomorrow or the next day, or Monday or Tuesday. But my goal is to stream for 5 days a week. So my plan is probably Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, just not this Saturday and Sunday. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I gotta go. Hour and a half. That's the goal for these streams. All right. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.